Hello everyone, and welcome to the On Tour Minute with Spiro Agouros, presented by Fishhound.com, brought to you by VRX Products, makers of the rod, reel, and bait gloves, protection for all your fishing products.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the On Tour Minute with Spiro Agouros. Here we are after the FLW Tour 4th event at Potomac River. Well, as you saw in my last update, I did real well in practice. I would have had anywhere from 16 to 18 pounds a day. I was really excited. It's my style of fishing. Then the first day I was paired up with Jeff Cloud, good angler out of Texas. He was a great guy to fish with for sure. It was an awesome day. I mean, I caught 40 fish, but it could only come up with 10.5 pounds. I just couldn't get that kicker fish that I really needed. And after getting a real big one in practice, it was a little bit hard. But I mean, that's just fishing, and that's kind of how it is. Let's talk about day one and talk about some of the key baits on day one. Some of the key baits on day one was secret lure swing jig, tipped with just a small little shad body on the back. It doesn't really matter what kind you use, but the uniqueness of that particular swim jig is that it's very narrow. And what I do is I double up on the skirt to make it a little bit wider, and it worked awesome. I mean, I literally caught 20 fish in a row. I mean, it was just awesome and incredible. But a lot of them were the same sort of deal. And when you're fishing as a co-angler, that's a real good boost and a real good motivator, to keep fishing. Then I switched up, threw a spinnerbait for a little bit, got some fish on a spinnerbait, got some fish on a topwater frog. Then what I started to do is flip my Trigger X flapping dad, and I did catch some fish with that as well. As far as kind of the technique, we were moving quite a bit, so I was casting and retrieving, which is good for a co-angler because there's a lot more room. You're moving, you're hitting new fish all the time, and I think that was definitely a key, to me catching more fish. So that's kind of my day one. I was sitting in 60th place after day one, which was good. It set me up good with, I knew I needed about 14 pounds to put me into the top 20 because the weights were fairly close. We had some awesome weights, like 19-pound bag, 17-pound bag co-anglers, and speaking with some of the other pros and co-anglers, they were saying that some of the co-anglers were beating them by 7 and 8 and 9 pounds, which is, usually when you see that, it's because there's just so many fish in an area. So now let's go to day two. Day two was a little bit different. I fished with Anthony Gagliardi, really nice guy, Team Chevy. It was a great opportunity. I've known Anthony for a little while now, so we kind of knew each other. We get to our first spot, and second cast he gets one, and then he gets another one, and people are catching fish all around me, and I just really struggled. I tried the swim jig, couldn't get a fish on a swim jig. I tried, fishing on the bottom with like a finesse worm. I tried, drop shotting even. I mean, I just could not get those fish to bite. But definitely it was a slower bite. We weren't catching as many fish as they were the day before. But I think the difference was we were really stationary. We didn't move around as much, which gave me less opportunity, to kind of get out there and get to more fish. Finally, I switched up to a Terminator spinnerbait, threw it out, and bam, I caught one first cast, which, gave me a little bit more momentum. Cast back out, caught another one on the spinnerbait, and then it kind of died down again. So then we moved around a little bit. I got one more fish on a frog and lost a real big one on a frog, topwater frog, and that was it. I mean, I just, I ended up catching 3 fish for 5.5 pounds. So I ended up like 81st spot. So I really needed those points, for the Forest Wood Cup. Going into the Cup, I have to have a really good weight, for Kentucky Lake to catch up. But Kentucky Lake's a lake where, again, a co-angler can do real well fishing, like a Carolina rig or a jig behind your pro partner, especially if they're not moving much and they're fishing, ledges and stuff. So I'm looking forward to Kentucky Lake. We're going to have an expo there. So if you happen to live in Kentucky, or you want to come down to Murray State, come down and visit us, and if not, come to our Facebook page at any time, or come to Fishhound.com for more updates and all kinds of cool stuff. And the biggest thing about Fishhound.com is keeping those updates, trying to give you as much information as we can from the tour, and a perspective from the co-angler side as well. So thanks everybody for watching us and following us here. Follow us again in a couple weeks there at Murray State at Kentucky Lake for some more updates and awesome fishing action. Take care and have a great day.